What's up, guys? It's Chokenator or Andre. Got a little bit of a vlog slash sort of informative slash persuasive video here. This is sort of in response to the thread that Ivan made and also the video that he made. I thought it was really interesting because a lot of people got their panties up in a bunch after that post, which Ivan also noted. I don't know if any of you watched his video, his little live stream, but I watched a little bit of it. I watched the beginning of it, and then I stayed for Drunk Striker at the end of that live stream, which was pretty funny. But anyways, he talked about how not a lot of people attend, and this is not really addressing his points or his video, but more the response that everybody else had that Ivan also noticed. Like, once you talk about attendance, everyone gets, really riled up. And I think I don't want to really focus on any negativity about people saying the scene is dead or whatever, because that's not really important. I want to talk about growing the scene. And as you guys know, I don't want to have to go over the whole history lesson of Central Valley Smash before, but in 2008, 2009, you guys know that the scene was dead, and you don't really know what a dead scene is until you've seen Dead, where there's nothing happening for like an entire year, and all that you can go to is outside of your region, and everything is at least a 90-minute drive. Fresno, Sacramento, San Francisco, Bay Area, or SoCal. And literally nothing is happening in your region. You guys, most of you have been in the scene where there was already a scene. Even if it was a 5-man local free tournament at my house, a little round robin or a little get-together at Battleground. I know, Battleground, never mind. Battleground, the scene was very much alive already. This is like before War Torn. There's nothing where I would find some random dude on Reddit in Manteca, shout out to Robert, looking for PM players, So to really build the scene from scratch is like what I remember. But to build the scene from where you're at now, which is sort of this sort of, I don't want to say stagnant, but this sort of like nice equilibrium that you have, this sort of steadiness that you have with maybe 10 to 20 to 30 people going to your locals, your weekly locals, and then maybe 40 to 50 people going to your monthlies, for various games. You got Straight Up Tilted, you got Button Check, Fair Fights. We got some pretty nice events going on. And I think, 3 or 4 events in a month is really good. And we have a lot more than that. We have a weekly going on, plus, the monthlies, plus Dragon Ball is helping grow the scene too. So I just want to go over a few points. This is sort of for TOs, but also for people who just want to grow the scene in general. If you're not a TO, I would encourage you into being a TO or at least helping TO. But before I get into that, I want to give a message to the competitors, right? To the people who are not interested in TOing, not interested in being a commentator, not interested in community stuff. These are people who are just interested in getting good. And I want to tell you right now, before I get further into the TO topics, just keep getting good. Like, if you want to ignore all that extra stuff and you just want to get good at the game, focus on your net play life, focus on your Anthers ladder, focus on your self-improvement, your practice regimens, want to focus on, playing friendlies. If you want to have that TPP clout life and only play good players just so you can get better, that's fine too. If you even want to pull a shroomed and not even go to your locals and stuff and, just get good, that's fine. I want to encourage you to keep doing that. If it's not your concern to grow the scene, then don't make it your concern to grow the scene. I'm not forcing anyone to do that. Just keep getting good. And at the same time, your getting good will still grow the scene. Because if you get good enough and you start doing well at majors, people start to realize, oh, where's this guy from? This guy's from Modesto. This guy's from Stockton. This guy's from Fresno. This guy's pretty sick. This guy's from Manteca. Tracy, where's that? People are going to... People talk about putting their region on the map. If your main concern is getting good, even if you don't care about putting your region on the map, you will end up doing that anyway, which at the end of the day makes your region look good. So that aside, that's for the competitors. I know you're out there. That's for the competitors. If you don't care, then don't care. But now this is for people who actually want to grow the scene. I want to talk specifically to TOs. A lot of you, actually not a lot of you, but there's a few TOs here in Central Valley. And I want to say right now that there are not enough TOs. to actually grow the scene. I think the TOs that we do have, you know, Greg, Edward, I don't know if CJ still TOs. We have PJ, Ishmael, Button Check guys. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting you. And then there's also the assistant TOs. You know, we have people like Joey. There's Jose Almanza from DSG. That guy's pretty cool. Like all you guys, you put in work to get your events running. Shout out to Ryan. You know, I don't want to forget you. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone else, but you know, you guys put in your work to get your events going. You guys know, how to do it pretty much. And you guys also know that a tournament cannot run smoothly without a staff. You need people to take care of the money. You need people to run the bracket, especially if there are multiple brackets. And if you are a competitor that is also a TO, you definitely need someone to help run the brackets to run things smoothly. You also need enough setups. So those are just logistical things that every tournament is, it's a standard for every tournament. You need setups, you need staff. Another thing, you definitely need to always take care of the money. I'm going over real basic TO stuff. This is, this doesn't really help grow the scene, but it helps you create this sort of balance that we have. These are stuff that we mostly have taken care of. But yeah, regarding money, never make any mistakes with money. This is a no-no, Never, give anyone free passes. Never, just always be strict on payouts. Because this is something that is very transparent and can really kill credibility if there are any mistakes at all in your accountability, in your the way you calculate things like payouts and making sure that everyone who gets in pays and stuff like that. Having sign-up sheets, having checklists, having what TSG has is their little wristbands and their stamps and whatever. That helps a lot. So those are the basics. So okay, now 7 minutes into the video, we're actually going to talk about growing the scene. Now, I think everybody has different political viewpoints. Some people care about safe spaces, some people don't. But I think inclusivity is really, really important. I think, obviously, as gamers, as competitive gamers, we are in this young adult male demographic, 16 through 25 or whatever. I'm 28, even people my age are still gamers. We grew up in a gaming generation. But to get, for example, girls into the scene, to have that sense of inclusivity, things like Smash Sisters, you don't have to go straight up, SJW on it. You don't have to, you don't have to go crazy like that. But little things, just inviting your friends, making sure you're friendly to them, not going easy on girls just because they're a girl, basic respect stuff. Including kids is another one, because kids are going to be your future gamers, Shout out to Azel. Your boy was 14 when he got into the scene, but I'm talking even younger than this. I'm talking about, kids might be the people that you want to go easy on. I don't know. You might want to pull a Justin Wong and say, welcome to the real world, and spam some really cheap strategy on some 12-year-old kid that he'll never be able to beat and make him salty. That's definitely something you're going to have to deal with as a competitor anyway. But, I like to play casuals and friendlies with kids. I like to go easy on the kids, take it easy on them, let them know, oh yeah, I was a pro. I'm really good at the game, but you can get there too. To be encouraging to the kids. Something I don't really see addressed is being inclusive to adults and parents, and adults who just randomly walk in. You get your adults who randomly walk in at fair fights, into convention centers at majors or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, this is actually a thing. And like, if you're a TO, or if you want to introduce people to the esports scene at large, for people to start respecting the scene, which in the past few years has really made great strides. The competitive scene is becoming more accepted in the world. We're talking Overwatch, we're talking League of Legends. Smash FGC is still smaller, a little more on the grassroots side, but you can still show people that this world exists and give it legitimacy. That helps growth. You might not think it does, but it does help. Now, regarding the events themselves, when you're running events, this is something that doesn't get addressed enough. Is you got to think of the little people, right? When you're creating incentives for good players, that can only grow the scene so much, because it makes the scene become very top heavy. This is where top player privilege comes from. Like, top players get the money, even with pot bonuses, which does draw good players in, which draws more competitors in. But at the end of the day, this will also reach a certain threshold, I think. This can only grow the scene so much if you benefit the top players. Of course, it's a tournament, right? The nature of a tournament is that it's a competition. So you do want to incentivize the top players just for for being good. You want to give them pot bonuses, of course. You want all that taken care of if possible. You want to make sure they get a decent money. They're not expecting a living wage, but they want to make that dough. Make that prize. But if you think of the little people, there are people who are not that competitive, who go for the fun of it, who go to meet people, who go to play casuals, friendlies, who go to for the social aspect of it. As the scene grows, you will get more and more of that kind of person. The non-competitive, I will never be pro, I'm not interested in being pro type of player. And as even you competitors need to acknowledge those type of players, that they're out there. Like they're gonna make Johns. These are the type of people who make Johns. These are the type of people who make excuses for losing. Sometimes you gotta ignore it. Sometimes it gets annoying, but you gotta accept that it's there. And if you want to keep those people in the scene, which I think we should encourage, is to allow them to be themselves, and to allow them to have fun. Because at the end of the day, it's a game, and only a very, very few amount of people are the ones that are actually going to be doing well in competition. And that's a harsh reality. I know all you guys are competitors, all you guys want to win, but this is not a mentality video. In a mentality video, I'll be talking to you guys about no Johns and just get good and practice and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the people who are never gonna. There are those people who are never gonna get that through. That's never gonna get through to them. There are people who are always gonna stay bad, I guess. But it's okay to be bad at a game. Like, the I have a life John. I'm not gonna say that's a legit John, but that John is there. And people are going to say, oh, I have a life. I don't have time to get good at games. That's me now, right? I'm a casual now, right? I mean, kind of. I'm not really casual, but I can say that I have other things to take care of, and I can't get good at games. And, what is the incentive for me to go to a tournament? And right now, for me as an artist, I want to sell my art at a tournament. That's like that. If you want me to come, that's how you're going to get me to come. But, for the people who are like casuals, you got to think of side events. You got your low-tier tournaments. You got your free-for-all. You can have a 4v4 tournament at a Smash 4. That would be sick. I'd enter that. I'd go for the 4v4. Just fun stuff to do, like crew battles. I know as a TO, this is really hard to do, and the more events you're gonna have, the more staff you're gonna need, and the more strict scheduling you're gonna need. So all this stuff you're gonna add on requires staff. But that kind of stuff is what gets people to come. Genesis was a really good example. They had a 24-hour venue, and they had a lot of side games, free arcade cabinets, tons of different games. Like, you want to start thinking of the FGC at large, and you want to start looking at things like conventions, because those are what draw in the nerds, because this is who we're catering to, the nerds, like this nerd. I'm not using nerds as a shameful label. We're all nerds, dude. We're all gamers, dude. So definitely try to cater to the people who are not competitors. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, free stuff helps. Free lanyards, Red Bulls. All that costs money, but definitely helps. Now this is for the overall exposure part. Y'all like streams, recording setups. If not a stream, then a recording setup. People still will go back and watch a YouTube video. YouTube is not dead. I know people are all on Twitch now, but if you don't have internet access, if your internet sucks, you still have a chance to bring your laptop and record. I don't know if people still use capture cards and all that stuff, but record your matches, archive your matches. I don't want people to see this as a given. It's not a given. You need to put effort into doing this. If this is the type of person you are in the community, you enjoy like VODs, you enjoy exposure, you enjoy giving people a chance to look back at their videos and watch them and review them. Or if you want to just relive a hype moment in commentary or a hype moment that happened in a match, just do it. Like, make sure it's all documented. Documentation is a good thing. You might think, oh, no one's ever going to watch this video. I'm not going to get, less than 10 views or whatever. But if it's on the internet, you still have a chance to go back and do it. So you might as well have it there anyway. You don't want to take that for granted. Use your technology and make sure you're, archiving everything. It really helps a lot. if you do have the chance to stream, get that stream up. Make sure it's good quality. You don't have to hire a crazy streamer. Streaming is not too hard. You just download OBS, make a simple layout. If you do want a really professional looking stream, then maybe I wouldn't say hire. Hiring is, we're all poor, right? We're all poor gamers, and a lot of us are not even professional adults yet. Not all of us have jobs. But learn to stream is not really that hard. A lot of you can't exactly bring your laptop or your PC to a tournament. But if you do want to do that, I encourage you to do that. Streaming is a lot of fun, and it really does expose your scene. Even if you have, you post your scene in Central Valley Smash, you post your stream in the Central Valley Smash page, you get like 5 to 10 viewers. That is growth, that's growth right there. Online exposure, right? So what else? Tons of setups. Oh, so different types of setups. Like, I think different types of setups is something that tournaments don't take advantage of. Obviously, most people want to play friendlies on their setups, right? But to have a money match setup or like a tutor setup would be really cool. I don't know if this is a stupid idea, but I think like a teacher setup or a coaching setup would be really cool. I don't know. That might be a stupid idea, but it's just, creative stuff like that might help. Just give people something different. Give people something new. Now, I want to say, I want to make a point here, as I sort of, start to conclude this video. If you say that the scene is dying, even making that statement, if you say ever that the scene is dying or the scene is dead or whatever, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't say that. If you want to grow the scene, don't say that. You're already, surrendering to a negative attitude, and that doesn't help at all. Like, you might be telling the truth. You might have a point. Sure, you have a point. Like, scene is dying. Sure, but if you're at the end of the day, if that's your goal to kill the scene, then say the scene is dead. If it's your goal to grow the scene, always look for opportunity. You like I said, most of you have not seen a dead scene. You guys, most of you guys don't know what that is. And to build something from nothing is possible. Like, it's like, let's just do this. Like, let's have a meetup at my house and let's play ARMS. Like, you want to grow the ARMS scene? Grow the ARMS scene. Like, that'd be sick. So I'm not saying, you guys gotta create this crazy Genesis and this safe space where, Smash Sisters and all these kids and like all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if you really want to grow, that's what the scene grows up to be. Your local scene, eventually when it grows up, it becomes Evo. Eventually when it grows up, it becomes Genesis. The TOs of Genesis and Evo started out grassroots. They started out just like you. They started out just like us. And eventually, once it keeps growing, that's what it starts to look like. You start to look like, those huge majors. And there's a lot of money there. So if you want to be a professional TO, there is a lot of money. And I mean, I'm not saying become a TO for the money, but there's money there, and it's sustainable to a certain degree. So yeah, I think I went over most of the points. I think a very last point I can make. So there is, I come from a church background, right? Evangelistic community, about getting out there, talking to your friends and telling them, hey, let's go to this Jesus retreat, right? And a lot of the strategies I learned from that life, which I'm not really too much a part of anymore, I actually employed a lot of those things. Like, my friendliness and charisma comes from being a public speaker in a church setting, which is really interesting. But a lot of those strategies I employed into the gaming scene. And I think it helps to just invite people that random people who are not gamers. Like, hey, come check this out. If they're your friends, tell them, hey, come check this out. And if you're a good friend to them, they'll be like, you know what? You're cool. Like, you're my homie. Yeah, I want to go check out your thing. I want to see a part of your life. And this is really what it's all about. Like, you live this life that is, you live in this sort of world that, revolves around itself, and it's a big world, and it has this gravity to it, and it's cool to you. And it might not be cool to other people, or it might not be even known to other people. But I think if other people knew about it, and they entered into that sort of gravity and started becoming part of that world, they would realize, whoa, this is actually a really cool thing. Because the gaming community consists of people, of human beings. And if you just be a good person and you invite people to it, and you want to hang out, tell them to, hey, come hang out at the tournament, especially if there's no spectator fee. Not that spectator fees are bad, okay? Like, I know spectator fees are needed sometimes, but it helps if a tournament's free, so you can draw people in more. Anyway, that's not the point. What I'm saying is, invite your homies who are not gamers, and tell them, hey, check this out. This is my world. Come be a part of it. You don't have to be as hardcore as me, but if you come check it out, then that'd be cool. Or you could say, hey, I'm about to play on stream next. Text your family. Text your friends at home. Tell them, hey, come watch me on Twitch. This is what I'm doing right now. So that's pretty much my video for now. I know this turned out to be really long, but hopefully you watched it. If you did stick it out for the whole thing, I thank you. Sub to my channel, shoutouts. Sub to my stream. But anyway, I hope that helps you guys. You guys know me. I'm an old man. I've been playing Smash since I was 14. Actually, competitive Smash since I was 14. I've been playing Smash since I was like 10. And I've been part of this thing for a long time. And I'm an old man, and I pretty much retired as a competitor. And now I'm more focused on my art. But I'm still part of the scene, and I still love the scene. And I'll still be a part of it forever, I think. Pretty sure. So, a lot of you are young and got your bright futures ahead of you. Whether that future is in the scene or not, whether it's in Smash, maybe you transition to Street Fighter. Shout out to Mason. Maybe you transition to Dragon Ball. Maybe you become a professional Overwatch or League of Legends player, or Dota or Fortnite or whatever. I don't even know if Fortnite has esports. But anyway, yeah, I hope this helped you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. See you in my next video. Peace out.